Construction management, technology and management division in construction in civil engineering. We have two thrust areas. The one is materials, the other one is the management component. In materials, so we have faculty who are working on material characterization, rheology of concrete. So the major construction material in the country is concrete. So we have a strong group working on concrete material characterization, rheology, looking at different forms of concrete like self-compacting concrete and using different mixtures, admixtures, etc. Also looking at how to look at various different kinds of waste, whether we can use them as components of concrete, okay, fly ash, etc., etc. So that's one area, looking at sustainable construction materials. So those are major projects in the materials thrust area of the construction technology and management group. In terms of management, in the construction management area, we have again projects going on looking at construction safety, automation of construction safety, and the second one would be information management in huge construction projects, how to use building information modeling and other kinds of tools, right? And others are core construction management philosophies like lean construction, etc. How can they be used, these innovative philosophies in construction? So there are a wide range of topics which students are pursuing in construction technology and management. Yes, in terms of how construction management is relevant to students, in building their careers, be it pursuing higher studies in India or abroad, or looking at jobs, core, non-core, whatever be the case. I think construction technology and management adds a major dimension to the skill set of these students, right? So we discuss about different technologies used in construction, what are the practices used in construction, how do people actually build things, how do you translate an idea, which is an abstract idea like a design, right, a structural design, to reality, right? So that's the major focus of construction technology and management. So that's what we are dealing with, to develop skill sets in students, to enable them become managers, to enable them have expertise on materials, to translate those abstract concepts to realities on ground and build those iconic structures, right? So such skill sets are really in huge demand, across the industry. So a skill set pertaining to technologies, pertaining to materials, pertaining to practices and management would seriously help a student to gain a good job, because industry really likes people with those kinds of skill sets. And in terms of higher studies, it becomes again, these kinds of areas are really cutting edge technology using areas where you can think of all various kinds of technologies and advances like machine learning, computer vision, all these kinds of techniques to automate various processes in construction. So in terms of research, again, you have a lot of avenues which open up for students if they gain these skill sets, and in terms of jobs, they are in high demand. I think the need of our right now in India are engineers who can manage. What we see is India is on this huge ambition to create world-class infrastructure, right? We are on this path to create various things, be it roads, be it railways. An estimate is that we need about $1 trillion to create such infrastructure. Okay? But we are not even talking about private infrastructure. We are just talking about creation of public infrastructure where the government will be providing these kinds of infrastructure. And you add to that all the different kinds of other structures, civil engineering structures which are going to come up in the country, right? Be it the residential buildings, be it all the office complexes, commercial complexes which might come up across the country, right? So we are talking about a huge revolution in construction in the next decade or so. So for that kind of thing, you need engineers who can manage large projects. So far we have been in this mindset where we say engineers can manage, right, or managers manage, engineers do. Whereas now you need these skill sets where engineers who have solid backing of knowledge in civil engineering and also have an idea of how to manage projects, develop those skills about management, materials and technology. So that is the biggest important skill or important asset which many industries, many companies in this industry need right now. And therefore construction technology and management, right, especially in India, is the need of the hour. So people with good management skills, with good material background, they are needed to develop all this huge infrastructure which is needed by the country. So how did I get into construction management? That's an interesting question. I'm still exploring the reasons why, but one reason you see is because you are very close to the field in a construction management related area, right? You interact with the actual construction which is going on at the site. So and the scope of this kind of area is fascinating, especially to me, because you deal with the entire project life cycle when you're talking about managing these projects. Okay, so you talk about how projects are visualized, conceptualized, designed, how to manage those processes. You talk about how to actually identify contractors, how to bid out these projects, how to sign those contract documents, how to structure those documents so that these projects would be successful. And then you also look at various management processes in the actual construction of the project itself. And finally, when we are talking nowadays we are talking about sustainable construction, we're talking about life cycle costing, life cycle analysis of project. We actually talk about the operations and maintenance of such huge projects and how actually you recycle those projects later on. So it's entire project life cycle, it's the entire building life cycle. So that fascinated me because you can actually deal with various aspects of the entire life cycle of this project and construction. So it's about understanding whether I'm just putting a brick in the wall or whether I'm constructing a nice temple, right? So that's what construction management offered to me, and that's why I'm fascinated and that's why I'm interested.